Well, hi there, and welcome to episode number 34 of the Between Two Brands podcast. I am still your host, Bill Petrie. That means next week is number 35, and we are legally allowed to run for the highest office in the United States. Honestly, we couldn't be more excited. Hey, we're also excited about our guest today. So before we get to my ramblings and our guest, let's pay the rent, shall we? Hey, distributors, it's time to wake up. Your clients are no longer satisfied with you merely acting as a middleman, slapping their logo on generic, predictable, and frankly uninspiring products. What they're demanding is something more merchandise that feels as if it were thoughtfully curated just for their unique brand. To stand out in today's marketplace, your clients need something exceptional, products that truly reflect their identity and set them apart from the crowd. Now, this is where our good friend Russ Mogel and his team over at Seven Sourcing come in. With over 30 years of direct custom merchandise sourcing, they are the clear leaders in the space. Now, here's just a couple reasons why you need to partner with Seven Sourcing. They have established relationships with vetted and trusted factories. They ensure all merchandise passes a rigorous quality control check by an accredited third party partner. They comply with and frequently exceed industry standards, manufacturing requirements, and product safety regulations. They manage every part of logistics and communicate with you through every step of the process. In other words, with their expertise, they know how to deliver bespoke merchandise that will position the distributor in the hero of the eyes of the client. You can't ask for more than that. I tell you what, they're also going to help you steer clear of the common pitfalls that come with managing it on your own. That's super important. So, to be clear, yeah, it does take a little bit more time, typically between 75 and 90 days to design, develop, and deliver truly unique and original merchandise. But isn't that extra planning worth it to craft exceptional products that foster lasting loyalty? I don't just believe it, I'm certain of it. So when you're ready to elevate yourself from just a promotional products distributor to a true partner who delivers exactly what your clients crave, unique custom branded merchandise designed specifically for them, reach out to Russ and his team at sales at sevensourcing.com. All right. It is the afternoon here. I usually don't record in the afternoon, but I'm accommodating our guest who's coming from across the world, which I'm pretty excited about, good friend. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about the importance of education, which kind of hit me this week, especially after our last episode when we had JGR, Jessica Gibbons Roush, on from PPAI, and we talked about what she's doing to increase and improve education. She even talked me into getting my CAS, which I know she's proud of, I'm proud of too. So when I saw this, when I went to the Promotional Products Professionals Facebook page, and I know I should know better, but clearly I don't, it struck me on how critically important education is. So here it is. A distributor posted this in the promotional products page. And it was a picture of these luggage tags. We just got these in, and the client is very disappointed in quality. The event is Monday, and we need about 300 in Texas. Anyone have any idea what we can do? Now, I understand, things happen in the manufacturing process. We all get that. This person posted a pic of the supplier website with that product. So it wasn't a picture of the luggage tag that looked bad. It was a screenshot of the supplier website, so we all could know we all knew exactly what supplier it was. We knew what the product was, and if you know me at all, I'm not a huge fan of calling out suppliers like that. There's better ways to do it than that. But what I loved is people were trying to help, and there was a couple things. Well, have you tried this factory? These people are based in Texas. Here's some ideas. My favorite though, or my favorite response was someone says, what about, or you could try sublimation. Now, the original poster saw that and responded, and I'm not joking here. Is that a vendor? If you're in this business as a distributor and you're asking if a vendor is called sublimation, get out of this business. Do yourself a favor, do your clients a favor. I hate to I guess I'm calling them out a little bit, but if you don't know what sublimation is as a decoration method, no wonder why your luggage tags look terrible. I have no doubt that you sent in terrible artwork. I have no doubt that you didn't get a proof. And so you threw a supplier under the bus and you're clearly displaying your own ignorance. And we're all ignorant when we get in this industry. It's up to you to empower yourself to educate yourself. And both PPAI with Jessica Gibbons Roush and Carrie Boderman over at ASI do a great job in helping educate people on the common pitfalls of this industry, the decoration methods, how to vet suppliers, all these things. So next time, Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous poster in a promotional products group, when you have a problem like that, don't shame the supplier when it's pretty obvious you are the problem. Get some education. So that's today's message. Get some education. Now, before we head over to around the world, really. For our guest, let's pay one last little bit of rent, shall we? Many people know how to build a business, but few understand not only when to sell your business, but the process involved to ensure that you find the right partner and maximize the return on your investment. Now, honestly, you need an expert, especially one well versed in the promotional products industry to help you, which is where certified marketing consultants come in. Jamie Watson and her team have decades of experience facilitating private company sales in the branded merchandise space. Now, to help you evaluate if it's time to sell your business, reach out to Jamie at CMC at info@certifiedmarketing.com for a confidential discussion today. All right, that's enough of me. That's enough of me complaining about the promotional products Facebook group and education. Let's head over, visit our guest. Aha, my guest today actually does need an introduction. So normally I waste your time in this spot. I'm not going to do it today. He is a 25-year promo pro. Our guest leads Your Brand Unleashed, a successful promotional products business in Australia. He is someone who absolutely loves a challenge. The previous APPA chair, and that's the Australasian Promotional Products Association chair and board member. It's a position he held for 9 years. Our guest loves the promotional products industry and is passionate about putting the I into PPAI's international connections. He has attended almost as many expos as I have, 15. And he lives on the other side of the world. I've got him beat at 26, but that's still a lot. And he's flown himself to Dallas to meet with the PPAI team several years ago. Now, he excels in building worldwide connections, everlasting friendships, right, like this throughout the industry,
100%.
while raising the bar in professionalism and education, becoming Australia's first ever MAS. I love that. Please join me in welcoming my good friend, Mr. Robert Williams, to the podcast. Robert, it's so good to see you. How are things?
All really well. And it's so great to see you too, Bill. And thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. So you have, I think, something or maybe one or two things you'd like to talk about. And then I've got five very easy questions so the people who don't know you can get to know you a little bit.
That'd be great. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
All right. So a couple of questions that I've got for you, Bill, and something that's
Okay.
pretty big in our industry here at the moment. AI. What's it doing over there, and what can we do here?
Yeah, it is all over the place. And I think it's, people, some people have rushed to it and adopted it. I'm probably more in that category. Some people have stuck their heads in the sand like the Roadrunner and pretending it's not going to change everything, and it has. And then there's people in the middle. I'm probably more I'm an early adopter, but in the middle. It's a tremendous tool when used properly. It is a really dumb tool when used improperly, or if people are just using, the biggest one I'm sure over there is Chat GPT. It's the most easily accessible, but when people are using it to write their blogs and things like that, it's very easy to see. But when you use it, like the way I use it, I'm a solopreneur. I mean, it's pretty much just me. I've got a small team that does accounting and things I don't want to deal with. But for each client, I train it on their brand voice, what they like, what they don't like, and it's become an incredible collaborator for me. I mean, it is so good. Like I will literally spend an hour to an hour and a half when I onboard a new client in ChatGPT teaching and training it how that brand operates so that when I start doing things that are outside of what that brand wants, it helps me get right back on track. I also use it for all the time for graphics. Uh, when I do stock photography is pretty much replaced my stock photography. I use Midjourney. I use a DALL-E for that, which is through ChatGPT. How are you using it though? I'd love to know how you're using it down there.
I'm probably a beginner, so I'm at the start. I did put my head in the sand for a little while, thinking, okay, is it a QR code episode? Is it going to go away? I'm guilty of being what you've just said, Bill. I stuck my head in the sand, so I'm just learning the skills and how we can utilize it
Yeah.
here. So I'm very amateurish at this stage, but it is going to take over. It's going to be the biggest thing
Yeah.
we've seen, that's for sure.
I don't think it's, I think when it's such a seismic shift, I think I really understand why people, when we're so used to horse and buggies for centuries, and then the car came along, I can literally understand why they were so resistant to that. It's such a
Mm.
radical shift. Um, I am small doses. I don't use it to write things for me. I don't use it to produce things for me. But what I do is when I write a blog, and I write a blog every Monday, I
Sure
will
do.
put it through I will put it through Grammarly, which is AI driven to help me with my grammar because I went to Texas A&M University. I'm not that smart, so it helps me sound smarter, and I like that. So I think that my suggestion would be just play with it a little bit, play with it, get comfortable with it, and there's a lot of great resources out there to help you with that.
It's There is a lot to learn, that's for sure. But yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I'll keep playing with it and see how we go and what tools we can
good,
find in the future. That's for sure.
excellent, excellent. What else do you got? Anything else, or are
All
we
right.
going to your questions now?
I reckon we'll hand over to you, and then I've got a couple more, but we'll hand over to
Okay,
you.
okay. Now, so I went down a different rabbit hole here. So other than Americans thinking they're clever by saying down under and put a shrimp on the Barbie, what are the differences between the Australian promotional products market and the US one?
Well, that's a tricky question. I
It
like it.
is.
Look, in business, there's probably not a lot of differences, of course. So we're all selling the same thing, right? We're all
Sure.
promoting our clients' businesses, and we're doing our best we can. So that's for sure. The biggest differences I've noticed, especially between the US and as you've mentioned at the start, I've been coming to the US for some 15, 20 years or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
The biggest differences for me would have to be the product codes. You guys use a code at the end of your prices and things like that to determine things. We don't use those. That
I
that
wish
that
we
confuses
didn't.
me. Exactly, it confuses me every time I see it. Um, Apart from that, I would have to say the rest of our processes are probably pretty similar. We
Okay.
find products, we find our suppliers, we we get them branded, and we get them shipped. So it's pretty simple in that regards. One of the biggest things, and probably one of the questions I was going to sort of bring up as well, and it probably might
Yeah.
meld well into this as well, is when I come over to the US, we all catch up, we all get together, we have lunches, we do beers, we do whatever, and I
Sure.
see you guys. You're catching up with um, heaps of people. I'm also seeing people like Danny Rosen and all of that catching up with their
Hmm.
competitors, sharing ideas. That's probably the biggest difference I've noticed. And Bill, I've been trying to do that here for quite some time.
Yes.
We are so scared. We put up the four walls and we say, this is our business, and you're not going to pinch our clients, you're not going to pinch our staff.
Right.
Let's not network. So that's one thing you guys do extremely well, the networking side of things, I have to say.
Yeah, and that's been a recent shift. I'd say you may have probably witnessed a lot of that shift in the time you've been coming
Definitely.
over here. I used to joke that the promotional products industry here in the United States was founded on two things: complete paranoia and mild alcoholism. And I said that jokingly, like, hey, there's a reason our trade show starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. But the paranoia part of it is very real. And it's only, I'd say, within the last 6 to 10 years, really turning that corner where it is collaboration over competition. When people post on an online forum, they're looking for a specific writing instrument, and they put a picture of it in Microsoft Paint to try to wipe out the State Farm logo. Here's
So
some
true.
news. We all know State Farm buys pens. So if you have to do that, you don't have a relationship with that client. You deserve to lose that client. So I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Very true. So collaboration's definitely a key thing. And I mean, we're talking collaboration. I've got a meeting with a US distributor coming up shortly in about an hour's time, actually. And we're just doing
Mhm.
a project for them here in Sydney. And that's the amazing work of the networking connections through PPAI and attending the shows. And probably, I'll be honest, the biggest difference. Whereas us Aussies, we probably would try to do something in the US and probably fail at it. But we would not want to hand it over to another distributor in the US. Although I've worked with
Right.
Kirby and
You've done
many
that.
others.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that, but I know others wouldn't because they don't want to lose their clients. So collaboration's key.
It is. All right. I have a question. So you are president of the, I can't, this is one of those words I can barely say, so I'm going to try it. The Australasian Promotional Products Association for a little over 6 years, I think. Now, much of that was during the pandemic, and you recently stepped down from your role at APA. A couple questions. How important was it to you to work so closely with PPAI during your time as president? And then I'll ask the second one.
It was probably It was in the top five, that's for sure. It was definitely in the top five. I always had an idea that the I, and I remember Paul Ballantone so uniquely said it, the I in PPAI is international and the sharing and all of those collaboration.
Mhm.
That was key to me. And that was one thing that I picked up just from coming to all the expos. And also, as you mentioned, I flew to Dallas at my cost,
Yeah.
went and met with Paul and brought my daughter over, who's just turned 18 the other day. And
Oh my
she
gosh.
yeah, exactly. She loved it. We loved it. The collaboration to me is vitally important. You guys have got some big resources over there in terms of education. And that was one of the key reasons I came to Expo for so many years and will continue to do so, is the education and the materials that you guys have there. It really did set the year every year for me. It was the start of the year. That was, if I wasn't at PPAI and I went to Dusseldorf one year, and I'm
Mm.
not trying to knock the Dusseldorf show, but I
No.
missed one year, and I just couldn't get back into the rhythm and routine. It's just what happens there is amazing. But the biggest connection, yeah, would have to be thanks to Paul Ballantone and the team for really starting that. And that's
Yeah.
just grown. I know we're in touch with Drew now. I was over at the Product Safety Summit last year as a
Okay.
guest. And it's just an amazing, we had a network, which was one of my goals before I finished up at APA, and that was to get all the associations worldwide together. And we did that at the Product Safety Summit last year. So it was
Yeah.
fantastic. So
Yeah.
collaboration
That's
again,
awesome.
let's share ideas, product safety, all these sorts of things, very important for our industry.
I love it. Is there anything you would change about your time as president of APA?
Look, as you mentioned, during the COVID period, it was very tough. I mean, I probably lost a few vital years, to be honest, there because there wasn't a lot we could do. We all know
Yeah.
everything was closed. We promo products for the last on the list of everyone's agenda. So
I
there
remember
wasn't a lot of
you and I even had some just to chat
we
and
did.
I thought it was closed here in the United States and it was hardcore lockdown in
It
Australia.
was where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria was probably, I think, ranked in the top five of the worst lockdown states in the world. So we
It's
had
not a list anyone wants to be on.
it was horrible. We had a premier that locked us down. We couldn't leave our front door after 8 o'clock at night. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. It was horrible.
Oh,
So, if I could change anything, I'd like to get those years back to be able to do some things that we're now seeing the progress. I've obviously just recently stepped down in February this year. We're now seeing the progress of those things, but I really would have liked to have been a part of that. That's for sure.
oh, yeah. Well, but I think you are. It's a unfortunately it's a legacy. I think you want
It
to be
is
hands-on part of it, particularly.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
totally get it. Now you're celebrating 15 years running your own company, your brand Unleashed, which is congratulations. That's fantastic. I love that. If you could go back in time and give a 15-year younger Robert some advice, what advice would you give him?
Yeah. Look, it's
Don't
it's
go
an
into
interesting.
business.
Yeah, well, look, Promo Products is such a fun game, and yeah, as you mentioned, 15 years as Your Brand Unleashed, but prior to that, I was 10 years as another
Right.
business within the promotional products. So 25 years combined
Yeah.
now coming into this
You're a
year.
lifer. You're a lifer.
Um, what would I do differently? To be honest, I should have listened to the experts back in the days where they all said get your systems and everything set up from the start. I think I've developed the systems. COVID allowed us that COVID period and probably allowed us to really cement those systems because we had the time where we were sort of hands off the client aspect of the business because there was no business. Um,
Yeah.
but we're able to sort of really cement that. I've now got a system where we've employed, 4 or 5 other staff throughout that, and they've gone through the system and have perfected it quite well. I think that would be my biggest piece of advice. Get those systems
Yeah.
worked out well. Join up with PPAI because they've got half the systems ready to go and all the advice, and collaborate. Make it.
I
I
love it.
think that's your key thing.
I absolutely love that answer. Now, one of the main things that makes you super interesting, at least to me, is that you're also a volunteer fireman. Now, we all know that many times running a promotional products distributorship is essentially just putting out one fire after the other. How has your training as a volunteer fireman helped you in your business?
Look, it's given me a lot of skills. As a volunteer firefighter, I've gone up the ranks. I'm now holding probably one of the highest volunteer ranks in our service. Through that, though, I've learnt teamwork systems. I've learnt procedures, how to write up procedures. We do operating procedures on everything we do, from putting up a ladder to bowling out a hose. Teamwork would probably be the biggest thing because, as you know, and we've both been in business for quite some time, and I started my business just with me. So,
Yeah.
solopreneur,
Same.
it's you're doing it all, right? You're doing,
Yep.
as you said, you're doing the accounting, you're doing the phone calls, you're doing all of that sort of jazz. It's learnt me to delegate. I think is probably one of the key things. Now, being a leader in the
That's a hard
fire,
thing. That's a hard thing to do as a
very hard.
solopreneur as you get people because no one knows how to do it as well as you do. And they
100%
never
agreed. And
will.
no one will do it exactly as well as you do. We know that.
No.
So that's been the biggest thing, and the biggest thing I've learnt from the country fire service that I serve
Yeah.
here is I stepped from being a firefighter to being a lieutenant the next day, and lieutenant on a fire truck sits there and instructs people what to do on the fire, not put the fire out. That was
Right.
hard. It was hard to get
I
used to,
bet.
not running into a fire doing it, but telling everyone to do it
I,
and make sure it gets done.
I bet you find out very quickly where you are deficient in your communication skills when you're sitting in that lieutenant seat.
Learnt very quickly. It's
I,
if you give the wrong instruction or the wrong thing, or you don't give an
yeah.
instruction, you're not going to get the outcome you want at the fire or the incident we're attending. That's for sure.
Oh, I love it. Love it. I want to learn a little bit about Australia. What's the biggest misconception Americans have about Australia?
The biggest one, and I still get it to this day. And I travel to the US. I try to travel there at least once or twice a year, although I have
Yep.
been missing the last couple of years because I've been in Italy instead.
Yep.
But the biggest thing I get from everyone is, how do you live with those dangerous creatures around you? And there's no truth to that. There's not a kangaroo at my backyard at the moment.
Oh,
There's not a spider
the,
crawling up. It's
right.
it's not as bad as it seems.
And the dingo's not going to eat your baby either.
Exactly. So that's the
Uh,
biggest misconception. Look, in the outback of Australia, yes, I'm pretty sure you're going to come across a kangaroo. You're going to come across a koala on the road. It's not that bad in suburban Australia, that's for sure.
what is one thing that is commonplace in the United States that you wish was just as common in Australia?
Do you mean work-wise or personal, or how would you?
However you want to answer it.
It's a good question. I probably
I,
wouldn't want
I
them
try
to
to
be the
ask the
same.
I try to ask the questions people are scared to ask, Robert.
I don't know if I'd want
I
them to
ask
be
the
the
tough
same, to be honest,
questions.
Bill, because it
Yeah,
gives me the excitement to come over your part of the world and have something different. So
I love it.
I don't think I'd want them the same.
Okay, I like that. Last question. If you could teach Americans one thing about Australia, what would it be?
We're a friendly bunch of people. We're welcoming, and the 15 some 24-hour journey for some of you guys over there is well worth it. Make the effort. I hear so many people when I'm there say,
Love
I would love to get to Australia, but it's too far away. It's not, and
it.
you will regret it if you do not come to Australia, that's for sure.
I love it. I love it. Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh, I've been handed a rapid fire. That's right, Robert. You get some rapid fire. This is the Australia edition of rapid fire. Are you ready? The rules are very simple. There are no wrong answers. I'm just going to give you a choice, one or the other. You just tell me what you prefer. There's no wrong answers. You're not
Let's do it.
Kirby. You won't screw this up.
Exactly.
Um,
Well,
All right. Bee Gees or AC/DC?
Bee Gees.
Correct. Uh, Anzac biscuits or a cheese and bacon roll?
Anzac biscuits.
What is that?
It's a sort of oat biscuit that we
Okay.
celebrate for our Anzacs. Yep.
Okay. Bondi Beach or the Sydney Opera House?
Sydney Opera House.
Victoria Bitter or Carlton Draft?
Carlton Draft.
Air Supply or NXS?
Air Supply.
Ew. I don't want to yell at you, so I'm going to move on. Mel Gibson or Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth.
Uh, Brisbane Lions or the Sydney Swans?
Or Brisbane Lions.
Okay. Crowded House or Midnight Oil?
Crowded House.
Okay. Absolutely. Margot Robbie or Nicole Kidman?
Margot Robbie.
Uh, Correct. Last one. Vegemite or kangaroo?
Kangaroo. I hate Vegemite. I hate Vegemite.
Nobody like. I've never met one person who likes Vegemite. I should have asked you about
Exactly.
Tim. I should have asked you about Tim Tams because I know you like the Tim Tam.
Oh, Tim Tams any time of the day. Any time of the day, that's for sure.
All right, this episode has been brought to you by the good folks over at Seven Sourcing. When you're ready to elevate yourself from just a promotional products distributor to a true partner who delivers exactly what your clients crave, unique, custom branded merchandise designed specifically for them, reach out to Russ and his team at sales@sevensourcing.com. Robert, always a pleasure to see you. I hope I get to see you at Expo this coming year. Are you coming this year?
Haven't locked anything in yet, but it's definitely on the agenda, that's for sure. And likewise, thank you so much for having us and always a pleasure.